Hello and welcome to the Stamp Camp. I'm Glenda Calkins, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Tonight I have another one-sheet wonder for you. We are going to be using the Earthen Elegance Designer Series paper. We're going to create 9 cards from one 12 by 12 sheet. We're going to create 3 different designs and you're going to create 3 cards of each design for a total of 9 cards. Let's change the camera and get started. All right, so here is that gorgeous Earthen Elegance Designer Series paper. I've been featuring this paper the last 2 weeks in our Thursday night one-sheet wonder. Tonight we're going to be using this print right here. It coordinates with the Earthen Textures bundle. Now it is a stamp set and die set together. It's best to get the bundle because you save 10% when you purchase the bundle. I also brought in the Stylish Shapes dies, and for the sentiments I'm changing them up tonight and I'm going with the go-to greetings. I need some thank you cards and birthday cards, so we're going to go with that. And then I brought in some the neutrals, sequins, and then these really caught my eye. They are the adhesive back sparkle gems. I thought maybe those gold because they sparkle so pretty. Or this is what my club members received this month, was a pack of the neutral sequins and then half a pack of the 12 by 12 paper and then a full spool of the wavy trim. All right, so let's get started. Like I said, we're going to create 9 cards, 3 different designs. You're going to create the same card 3 times. So we're going to bring this in at 4 inches. The cuts are very easy because all 3 cards are the same and have the same cuts. I don't know why that's not straight in my trimmer here. Maybe the paper was cut crooked. 4 inches by 12. 4 inches by 12. And then this last one, I like to make sure that it is a true 4 by 12 piece when we're done cutting. Very slight sliver. That one was pretty good. Now you can either take all 3 pieces and cut them all to once or do them all separately, but each of these 4 by 12 strips is going to be cut the same. So the first cut we're going to make is at 5 1/4. So there's our first 3 cards. The next cut we're going to make is at 1 1/2. That's for card number 2. And then we're going to come in at 2 inches, and that's for card number 2. So those 2 pieces are card number 2. And this right here is card number 3. I want to make sure that it is a true 3 1/4 by 4. So that's card number 3. So I'm going to just set those aside, and we're going to start with card number 1. Like I said, you're going to make 3 cards identical, but each with 3 different designs, so a total of 9 cards. So the card bases for the first 3, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Fold all of them in half. No special fun fold for card number 1. Yes, you can do one-sheet wonders that are not fun folds, but just beautiful cards. So I have our card bases. We're going to come in and attach our Designer Series paper to the top. So simple. So if you wanted to use your whole 12 by 12 and create 6 cards, with this layout, you would have a little strip left over at the end, which you could cut down for little pieces to put on the inside of your cards if you wanted to add that designer series paper to the inside. So this version, you can have 6 of this card. Or you can do like I did and have 3 different designs, 9 cards total. So here's my insides. It is very vanilla. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this image from the stamp set. And I'm going to use the Early Espresso ink. So if you like to decorate your envelopes, I would stamp that on my corner, bottom corner of my envelope front as well. Alright, so there's my insides to match what will be my outside. Attach these all in the front, or inside. This paper, I've just been loving the different cards, the One Sheet Wonders. It is a gorgeous bundle. It is a perfect for fall. I'm out of tape. That's why I had an extra runner ready to roll here. I think I'm extra prepared tonight. I've got my elements pretty much together except for the one I'm going to show you. Alright, so we have our insides done. I have a strip of that distressed gold. Love that with this print. And then I have 3 pieces of Early Espresso. So what we're going to do is attach those strips to my Early Espresso strips. Now if you want, you can use liquid glue, but I'm going to stick with my Stamp and Seal. And then we're going to just attach these strips. Now you're going to have a little bit of that Early Espresso showing at the top and at the bottom. So you're going to do that to all strips. I'm trying not to put my head in, but I can see my strips are a little bit off, but we're going to go with it. Alright, so now we're going to put our strips on our card front. Get my tape runner going here. There we go. Now I'm actually going to use my grid here. I'm going to bring it down in the bottom corner, line that up across the bottom, like so. And then I'm going to bring my strip across at 1 1/4 inches. So I know that that is straight on there. We're going to do that to all 3 of these. So 1 1/4, line up there, line up there. And final, straight on the side and across the bottom, 1 1/4, 1 1/4. There we go. So we have, isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Now I have 3 of the pecan pie and then 3 very vanilla pieces. So we're going to attach those. Now you could easily do this with any of those prints in the Earthen Elegance paper pack, but when I design my cards, I look at the print and the stamp set and stuff, and I decide which layout I think is going to be best for that particular print, if that makes any sense. I think some prints go better in some directions. Some prints, I don't know, they just look better. Okay, so what I did was stuck that down, but now what I'm going to do is put dimensionals, because that's what I wanted to do and I totally forgot. And I wanted my big dimensionals, which I don't see any on my table. And I thought I was so prepared. So we're just going to have to go with the little ones. They work just as well, they're just tinier. And because I got this strip here, I really only want to go on the top and the bottom. But you can stick it right down like I did on the first one. You're not going to really notice a big difference. For mailing, it'll be a little bit nicer because it'll be a little bit flatter. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of going across the side and then keeping my top and bottom about the same width, trying without my head in the camera. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to pop this one up too. I'm just going to put a little second row there. All right, in the last one here, again, we're gonna just like from the side, the top. I can look at my camera to see if it looks straight. That looks good. Then I have the little pot. I die cut using the die, and that's the pecan. And then I distressed gold. I have the lid, which I'm gonna put on. Like, give a little bead of glue across the top there. And we're going to assemble our little vase or pot, whatever you want to call it. This I put adhesive sheet on the back side before I die cut it. So it's just a matter now of peel and stick. So put that across, stick that down, and then come in with the scissors and just trim off the excess off the back, like so. Then I die cut one of these images using the Early Espresso, and it has little slits. So I like to cut them apart, and then there's a little notch that holds it together. Like, I like to cut that little notch out. But if you just want to cut up the slit, you can just do that too. I like to remove the little notch. And then each petal, if you want to call these petals, has a score line up the middle, which I'm going to show you how I fan those out a bit just to give it some dimension. I know when it goes in the mail it's going to flatten out, but it might spring back, you never know. But so there's a little score line, so I put my fingernail in that score line and then fold those petals up. Now you can go up or back. I like to go up. And like that. All right, so now we have it like that. We're going to place it behind our pot, flip that over. I'm going to put a little adhesive down my center of my pot, and then I'm going to put this back down. It's a little longer than what I want, so I'm just going to cut the end off. Then we're going to take our dimensionals, and I want one in the center of that little plant there. And then I'm going to put just a few on that stem to hold that in place. and then a couple on the side, just like that. And then that is going to come up our centerpiece right here. Then I took the thank you from the go-to greetings and I punched it out after I stamped it with one of our circle punches. Now they are retired, so if you don't have them, you can use the circle dies, but I hung on to my circle punches, and that is going to go right there. So because I know it's going to be in this corner, I'm going to just put a couple of these little dimensionals on there. And then put some adhesive on the back side. Take my papers off, yep. And just put that thank you across there, just like that. All right, so I've already went ahead and did all that fussy work for the next two cards. They were all done the same way. I think this paper is just stunning. And then I have my thank yous. And then we're going to add either the gold sequins or those glitter ones that I found. I haven't decided yet. Make sure that looks great. Take my papers off. Nice. Aren't they gorgeous? Probably not on camera, but in person they sure are sparkly with that gold. All right, so sequins. Now, because this is kind of a copper, but I've been going with the gold sequins. Now, this is a little bit different color. It looks good, but it's kind of maybe got that pecan-y look to it. Yeah, it does. It's kind of like the pecan. Maybe I'll do one with these. And then I'm going to put one in the center of my little thing there. You can't see the sparkle, but it is sparkly. And I'll put two on my sentiment, like so. And then on this one, on these two, I'll put what I was thinking originally. And you can decide which sparkles you like better, the sequins or this. Let me see, what are them called? They are the adhesive back sparkle gems. Yes, they are sparkly. All right, so those are the first three cards. They were the top of the strip. Gorgeous. Love it. All right, card number 2. Okay, card number 2 with these two pieces that we had cut. And I'm going to see if I can't squeeze this stuff out of the way. We're going to start with a Early Espresso base again. All our cards have the Early Espresso base. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, which I've already done. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer here, and we're going to cut off from one end at 3 3/4. We're going to cut that off. Then we're going to take this and we're going to cut it down to 2 1/4. This piece, you can use it for die cuts, whatever you like. This is your card, and this is going on the card. So I'm going to fold that at the 5 1/2, which gives me this little piece right here. And I've already cut these off, so I don't have to do that. Just fold them. Like so. And then I need my pieces that I cut off. These are the pieces that I cut off at the bottom. So we're going to take the skinnier piece and we're going to attach that to the top. And then we're going to take the 3 2-inch pieces and attach it to those like that. So far, so good. Now, get that little piece out of the way there. We're going to start attaching these. It's hard to know with this paper if it's got a up or down or not. Okay, now we'll do the top pieces. Like that. Whoops. And we'll do this. Let's get straight here. Last one. I'm going to fold that maybe the other way. All right. So now I have, again, the pecan pie and the berry vanilla. So we're going to attach all those. You've probably done this card before. It does have a little bit of a technique. About the 3 or the 9 cards, this is only the card with the technique tonight. Or fun fold. Really no technique, but a fun fold. And it's kind of a peekaboo card. I've done them before. I don't know if I've ever done them in a one sheet wonder. So now they're all attached. And you're probably thinking, how is that going to be a full card? Well, it is. I'm going to put liquid glue because that gives me a little bit of movement. You're going to take your piece that's going to go on the bottom and you're going to match it right up along the bottom edge so it matches across the bottom and the sides. And then you're going to attach this piece. It's like your bridge. Whoops, and it moved. Just want to try to get that straight so that I have even up here as well as down here. We don't want any glue here. So when we open it up, we have our little bridge. We're going to do that to all 3 of these. So one sheet wonders can be all different cards. Like I could have cut the cardstock and made 9, each one differently. They can be 9 or 6 or however many cards you can get out of that 12 by 12 of the same exact card. I've done that before. Lately I've been doing kind of doubles. Tonight we're doing triples, meaning 3 of each design. Sometimes I do double designs. So one sheet wonders can be all different. You can flip it and use both sides of the paper on the same card. It's just a matter of cutting up that 12 by 12, 6 by 6, whatever you're using, and not have much left over, if any at all. Like tonight I have no extra strips left over. I've used that whole 12 by 12. I don't have to worry about cutting it up because I know I'm going to create, whoops, some gorgeous cards and have a nice pile when I'm done. So for the inside, we're going to go with the Very Vanilla because that one's just glued. I'm going to come over here. That one should have set up pretty good by now. That's going to be on the inside. So what I like to do is, I don't want when it's closed you seeing my stamped image. So I'm going to fold that open, come in with my ink pad in that same leaf print there. I'm going to just move that down so I know where it's got to go. About right here. Should fall right in the perfect spot when it's closed. So I'm going to do that to all of these a minute. And then we'll put those on the inside. All right, now you can, we're going to have a sentiment on the front, but you could also stamp like your inside sentiment right there. This should have moved over a little bit. It's a little crooked. That's what happens when I can't look directly on. We're going to just go with it. It's going to be a little crooked. Send it to my sister. She's got to have bifocals, so she won't know if it's crooked or not. All right, so now we have our insides. Now for the front. It's going to be gorgeous because I went all out. I die cut the little pot again with Early Espresso this time, and then I have the little distressed gold lid or top. We're going to attach that. Like so. And then I have this distressed gold leaf, so pretty. And I stamped and die cut out this image. And then I used the banner dies and happy birthday. And then I have a strip of the pecan pie. So while that's setting up, I'm going to get my banner thing put together here. So I'm just going to run that down the back just like that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on. No, I'm going to do it on the card front. Okay. So now I'm going to take this. I'm going to run my adhesive down the center as much and kind of across the top. And then I'm going to come in with these stamped images like so. And then we're going to take these gold ones and come up the back. Lots of layers on this one. I'm going to hold that down because that's where I want those. And then I'm going to take my dimensionals and hold them little buggers right in place so they're not going anywhere. And then we'll do that kind of down the pot as well. So there we have that. Peel off all my little We're gonna stick, isn't that gorgeous? That is beautiful. Let me see if I can't move it just a little hair. I'm looking at the camera to see if it's straight. It's about as good as I'm gonna get. Then I'm gonna take a dimensional and put it on the side of the pot or vase, like so. Peel off. Take my sentiment. I'm gonna just kind of clip these ends. That looks pretty good. And across there. Keep within our perimeter here of the card. If you need to trim your edge, you can go back in and trim it just a little. Isn't that gorgeous? Like I said, if you have an inside sentiment that you would like shown, you can put that there. Otherwise, you have plenty of room to hide your inside sentiments. It's just a gorgeous, different type, like I said, fun fold. All right, so now you don't have to watch me assemble all those little guys again. I got my pots all done here, ready to roll. And I used the size of the dimensionals on these because it gave me longer strips. So I kind of like that. And then we got to attach our happy birthday strips. And then we got to put our jewels that we would like on. It'll attach better if you take the papers off. Tip for you for tonight, make sure that we're in the outside perimeter here. Cut this back a skosh. All right, and now we'll come in with, I'm going to do the sequins. We're going to put, we'll put one, you could put it up here, I don't know, I'll put it to the side, and then we'll do some smaller ones on the banner, like so. I got a little over stamp right there. We'll just cover that up. You'll never, nobody will ever know. That's how you cover those little oopskies. There we go. Aren't they gorgeous? That's your second set of 3. We have a final 3. I love those. Gorgeous. Okay, so the final 3. Again, early espresso. This time it's cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold on that score line. If you have not gotten this Earthen Elegance suite yet, that's the suite. You get the paper, you get the sequins, I believe, you get the trim, you get the bundle, which is the stamp set and the die set. So these are going to be horizontal, and I already went ahead and I used the crosshatch embossing folder and embossed these Very Vanilla pieces. Love that folder. It is my all-time favorite. I use it a lot. I've been using it a lot this month on this bundle of products. So we're going to attach those to the front. I didn't cut my inside pieces, but it's just Very Vanilla, 4 by 5 1/4, and then stamp your leaf image from the stamp set in the bottom corner. Just that simple. Excuse me. I'm going to grab some water. Ah. See if I can finish this out. All right. Whoa. Okay, so now we're going to take those last 3 pieces that we have and 3 pieces of that pecan pie, and we're going to attach all those. All right, let's get going. So we're going to stick all 3 of these down. Like so. And then we're going to attach them to our card front. I'm going to stick them all to the left-hand side like that. Can you believe we are almost done? These 9 did take a little bit of prep, die cutting all the little images, but they are gorgeous. Okay, so now I have all my little die cut pieces here. All right, so I got a couple of the pecan pie, and I got a couple vanilla, and I have the early espresso, and then I got my distressed pots. So we're going to start by attaching the lids to these pots. Like so. So I'm going to have one have an early espresso pot top, and one is going to have the pecan pie. All right, and then I'm going to flip this over and run my adhesive down the center. And this time I'm going to add these behind, kind of like that. And then I have this little die cut piece. I'm not really sure what it is, but we're going to stick that kind of on the side here. Kind of like that. Flip that over. Put those dimensionals on the back side. I like to put them over top so they kind of hold everything in place. And we're going to do the kind of the opposite with this one. We're going to come in with the opposite colors. So I need to put my adhesive down the center. Come in with the early espresso and the very vanilla. Then we're going to put the pecan pie little image, whatever that weed is. On this side. All right. So sticky. And then we're going to use our dimensionals again to stick them all down on the back. Like so. All right, so we're going to come in with this one first. Whoops. We're going to just put it down on the side here, like so. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to come in with our second pot. And I'm going to put this one up just a bit, but keeping within our card there. Then I stamped and die cut with that Style Shapes die. And then I have a piece of the Early Espresso. We're going to attach that and then trim that down. You can go long, you can go short, however you like. Put a couple dimensionals on the back of that. They're sticking to my fingers. Okay, now we're going to attach that right along the edge like so. And we're going to do that to each one of these, which I've already went ahead, thankfully, so you don't have to watch me. Like I said, this part is what takes the longest, I think, is getting these all assembled and die cut. And okay, this one might be a little bit long. Well, I can't really pull it down, so it's still within the perimeter, so we're good. All right, and then we're going to attach our little thank you. One more. Peel off the back sides. This one can come up a little higher. Come over like so. Now we can come in with those sequins again. All right. I'm going to use the smaller ones, and I like to put them on my pots. And then you put one on my little sentiment there. So on my pots and on the sentiment. And then we are almost completed. I think this color combination, I don't know, it's just the print, the color combination, I love it. It's got that gold, and I love the browns. So those are your last three in that strip. So this was the bottom piece that was left over on our 12 by 12 strip. So we have our 9 cards. So let's see if I can get these all in camera. So that was the bottom strip. These beauties were that center strip. And then these were the top of the strip. There you have your 9 One Sheet Wonder cards using that Earthen Elegance Designer Series paper. Love those. If you need any of the supplies, please visit my blog, www.TheStampCamp.com. You will find a link under the video. It says show more. Click on that and you will find the list of all the supplies that I used tonight. Make sure that if you are new to my YouTube channel, you like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell in the upper right hand corner so you always know when I go live. That is your Thursday night One Sheet Wonder for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this series of the Earthen Elegance Designer Series paper. I have been loving the cards created with them. If you've missed them, make sure that you go back to my channel, The Stamp Camp, and check them out. That is it for tonight. Thanks for stopping by.